Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great and that we are all safe and sound. I'm sorry I have not posted any video for some time. I'm still at home, have not gone back to work yet, and hopefully I should go back to work first week in July, 1st of July. And I have like to ask to please subscribe to my channel, share, watch, help me to grow my channel. I've been thinking a lot whether I should make this video or not because if you have watched my previous videos, my main purpose of setting up my YouTube channel is to really discuss the UK legal system versus Nigeria legal system. But in the light of what is now happening, I thought I should do a short video. It may be long, sorry, because I always am doing a short video and it ends up being over 10 minutes. Um, so I thought I should do a video about my own personal experience and in regards to what is going on, namely Black Lives Matters, the prejudice, the racism that the Black community is facing around the world. I thought I should share my own personal experience in the hope that it might help somebody. And the reason why I decided to do that, I watched Lewis's video the other day. Everyone knows how calm Leona Lewis is. Her demeanor is just. She possibly could not harm anyone. And if anyone made Leona Lewis feel that way, you know, to be for her to face such prejudice. If you haven't watched the video, please go and watch it. It's all over in social media. And that's when I realized there's a big problem. Maybe I should share my own experience as well. So I am going to start my own personal experience back in Africa, Nigeria, when I was living with my grandmother as a child in eastern part of Nigeria. And my first encounter with a Caucasian, a white person, was one day. We've all read so many stories about how communal we are in Africa, although the debate is different. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video of why I don't quite agree with this communal living we do in Africa because it comes with a lot of its pitfalls, namely child sexual assault. I'm not going to debate on that today. I'm not going to talk about that on this video today. So back to what I was saying, and that would be maybe I was about 10, 7, 10, not sure now. And my grandmother, rest in soul, she's now passed. We've not been able to give her a full burial right because of the pandemic. But anyway, so she was giving me a bath. Now, our back garden is not fenced like we have here. And lo and below, there is this white man who's now passing through with camera. Of course, now I now understand he was possibly an explorer traveling the world, documenting what he's seen. That is fascinating. Which, of course, now my niece has now reminded me maybe my picture is some museum, is being displayed in some museum in around the world. I don't know about why it's not come to my attention yet, but um the reason why again I'm discussing this because I had the discussion with my niece. I had spoken about I would love to see people's maybe become a scientist to then examine the reason why people are so embittered, why the hatred is so much towards somebody that doesn't look like you, mostly the black race. And she pointed out to me that people are not really born racist, that there's a report that has been done and it's come out to say that people are not born racist. And it got me thinking that she's right. And then I discussed my experience, as I was saying. And that was it. For me, it was fascinating. I wanted to know more about this person. As a child, we would sing Not derogatory, nothing bad at all, just fascinated by someone who's different from us. You want to ask questions, you want to know. And my grandmother couldn't help me. She doesn't know much. She doesn't know anything about Caucasian or white people. She's not been outside the country herself. Has not lived with any white person. But anyway, and that went. But at no time did I hear my grandmother or my community say something really hurtful, say to me, we have to be mindful about these people because of what they have done to us, not even with slave trade, colonialism that we face in Africa. Not once did my community, my grandmother, or my family begin to let me know, oh, you should be worried about these people. No. And then I began primary school. It then happened that I had to go to school with Caucasian, Asians, Indians, and for the Indians, their hair is quite luxurious, very long, luscious. And then for a child again, you're beginning to ask yourself, why am I now? How did their hair become like that? Why is their skin tone different? Necessarily, some Indians are quite much darker than us, the black people. But I mean, like really Caucasian, you're with the hair. Again, nothing bad. No one spoke bad about them in my family or in my community. Rather, they were welcomed. So, as me as a child, I've now grown up, never seen that person as a threat that is different from me. In my early adult years, finished secondary school now, and I've now been went to Russia to continue my higher education. Now, everyone knows Russia has one of the worst human rights and racist documented cases in the world. Even at that, my experience, first experience, main experience that has now been embedded in my memory, that's the reason why I'm making this video today, is because of what this child had said when I was on the ground, on the train station, and this little girl. Now, if you're following my story, it's like she's now like me. For the first time, I saw a Caucasian back in Africa. So this is now this child who has now seen me and is telling the mother in Russian language, of course, why are you not turned like that girl over there? Her skin, so she's fascinated. She's seen my skin as beautiful. So she's not telling her mother, you should do your turn to come out looking like that girl sitting across the train. And the poor mom was trying so hard to explain to her, no, she's not tan. That is her skin tone. But this little child kept asking mother, why did you not get, you should get your tan to look as beautiful as that. Pause there for a minute. You see, I told you, my first encounter, no one has ever told me anything bad about people who don't look like me, who are different in their way of life, in the way they speak, in their hair, in their, whether it's 4C hair or not, in the way their physical attributes. No one has ever told me I should be wary of people who don't look like me. That child has now had the same encounter as I did as a child as well, possibly the same age as me when I had my first encounter. It is now what her community, her family, the people she's going to grow up with, that will tell her how her mother will educate her back home, that will form that little child's view for the rest of her life, as it did me. And I've now lived, I don't even begin to name the countries I've lived. I love to travel, I've been places and I've lived at my younger years. I took risk. But it is now, what do parents, what do community, what do all the social as they are growing, are they going to tell that child, no, never said that that skin is beautiful, it's not a beautiful skin, we are better than this person, or they're a threat to us. If they don't tell the child that, her memory, what she's seen for the first time in her life, is going to be saying, oh, I saw this beautiful person, this beautiful that I've never seen before, and I wanted my mother to look like that. Again, I will never know now. But I have other experiences in Russia as well, where it then turned out that I wasn't then able to go swimming anymore, take swimming classes, because when I would walk into this, it kind of like the center where we go swimming here. Sorry, I'm trying to come putting them together. I'm not articulating properly today. Forgive me. Anyway, like the center where we go swimming, the school dorm and everything. So when I would go there, the student will stop staring at me, Russians, who some of them have never seen black people before. Again, like me back home when I lived with my grandmother. So they've also come from far away, possibly from Samara, which is so far away from Moscow, to now go to school. And then Moscow, of course, have a lot of ethnicity going to school there. And some of those people have seen us for the first time. And so they are amazed, looking, wondering. And I'm not going to repeat the questions they ask me, which is all sort. And some of them will ask me, if I rub your hand, will it then stain my hands? Will my hand become black? As if my color kind of peels off. But anyway, those are different things. At the time, I did not take an offense because they have never seen anything like that before. Some of them. It's up to me now to educate them. I can only do my best to educate them. I don't know what their parent, their community is going to tell them that is now going to, that hatred is born out of, that we see today. So, but for me, another thing, no one, if you think my being, my skin color, my facial attributes, my way of life, my tradition bothers you, my dear, I don't have a problem. You have the biggest problem. And I don't pay you attention. I continue to live my life, do me, so long as you don't do something that will really oppress me, that I'm not able to move on to the next stage in my life, that is now suffocating. Because let's face it, we in Africa fought different demons from what the people who are either first generation, who are then generation living from slave trade up until now, from colonialism up where we're here now, they are fighting different demons from what we know in Africa. I don't know anything about color in Africa, who's different from me, until I saw that white man as a child. So there's no comparator. There's nothing for me to compare rather than the usual tribalism that we face in Africa. So that is the biggest problem we have. And so these children here, they are now, or even adult, having to navigate and deal with different challenges, demons, like I call it. They are not equipped. Most of us in Africa, it doesn't do us anything. Whether you tell us my nose is too big, my derriere is too big, my skin tone is too dark, or my whatever, it doesn't do us anything. Instead, we send immunity back to you. But the children born here, those black kids, is different for them. They have never been told. They grow up facing these challenges, whether be it in school, they are being treated the same offense that their mates who are not Caucasian have committed. They are facing different consequences. They have been, police is now been expelled from school, or they have been arrested, or they've not had criminal record. When you look at it, there are reports all over. And my line of work, I have seen that because most of the time I then tend to put away my solicitor, my lawyer hat, and listen to some of the young people I deal with, especially the black young male children. It pains me. In my line of duty, I am trying so hard to make them see you can do better. None of these people should make you feel bad. I tell my own personal story sometimes in the hope that it will inspire them, but it takes a lot. For example, I'm not going to give the story of my nieces and my nephew who've gone to school here in a predominantly white community. They face their own different demon challenges simply because they are black. But how do we make them see it's not your problem? It's a different demon. Not only they are not allowed to even excel in for their capability to shine to the highest level that it is meant, that opportunity, no level playing field. They then have to deal with the issue of skin color on a daily basis. They are not like me, or maybe those of us who grew up in Africa, who we don't see this thing as an issue. I do sometimes at my work, I have debates, and my colleagues will say, oh, why are these children getting into this trouble? Why is it that? Did they let it get into their skin? I said, because until you see that they are fighting different demons, different challenges, they are not from the same cloth as you and I. They are completely different. They have been brought up differently. They are in this community who tells them something different. So the reason why I say this, my main purpose is this. We are not born racist. I've given you my two different stories. I experienced personally as a child, and then in my young adult years. I must have been, the story I told you earlier on in Russia, I must have been my late teens, early 20s when this was happening. So you can see how it intertwined for me. No one taught me anything about racism. It means nothing to me, and it will never mean anything to me. You who continue to see it as a problem, and you who, that child, if your child is like one of those children who saw me for the first time, like that little girl did in Russia, and if you go back and begin to teach that your child something different, that black people, they should be wary, that no, we are better than them, you have a problem. You are the one perpetuating racism, perpetuating hatred, because as you can see, that little girl, for her, thought she has seen the most beautiful thing to her, wanted her mother to get a tan like me. So it's what you do to begin not to make them see. No. Whether you call it, some people would even not begin to say there is also the reason of the mixed race generation. Once their white is diluted, it's a big problem. So there's a whole lot of demons. Do better. Don't go back home in your community to begin to teach your child that this person that they encountered, no, we are better than them. They're subhuman. We are all human race. I know this has been preached so much. I hope this video can help anyone. If you watch today, please share so that we all can educate our children, our sisters, our brothers, so that the killings will stop, so that these children can really live in a world where there is no hatred, like I did growing up when I encountered white person for the first time, people of different races. I went to school with them, in my primary school years, and then went to Russia, and I'm back in the UK where I've now been able to work school with different ethnicity, and no one bothers me. Only when you say something that is, you think you're going to make me feel bad, I feel sorry for you simply. You do not exist in my book. You need to go re-examine your brain. The only problem it gets to me is when it's been now done to my nearest and dearest. It bothers me, which is why I'm making, one of the reasons I'm making this video. Because like I said, I like to now refer to it. It's a different demon they are now having to face and try to navigate and overcome. So please, wherever you are, teach your children better. We are not here to take anyone's space. No one is going to live on earth indefinitely. If you're lucky, you live up to the age of 80. So if you acquire all this wealth, if you think because when you see, oh, this person is here, they're going to be better than me, they're going to be the CEO, I don't want them to be the CEO, I don't want them to be the one giving me, telling me what to do. At the end of the day, you are going to go. Is that the legacy you want to leave behind for your children? So that they will see another human being as a threat and become an oppressor? I hope that this video will change one person's view. Please share, subscribe, and watch. I hope I can post more video very soon. Until next time, stay safe. Bye everyone.